Welcome everyone to the Acrylic Asylum. I'm Mike Ferris, and in this video lesson I'll be showing you the details of this glass piece step by step. So stay tuned to the end so you don't miss any lesson details, and check out the description box below for a list of colors and materials. So getting started on an 8x10 pre-stretched canvas, I am going to start laying out the background. So I have here some burnt umber, some cad yellow, and titanium white, and this is a number 20 flat brush I'm using. And so with some brown and yellow and white mixed up, I'm looking for this very light, warm brown color, and with this I'll just start filling in the background. So without cleaning now, just picking up some more burnt umber, and this is a little bit darker value, and you can skip this step. I'm just putting more interest into the background here, so I just want to brush in this little darker spot here and just sort of blend it out into that lighter stuff by using very little pressure on my brush as I get outside here. And this just adds more interest. And now just a quick dry on medium heat. And now that we're dry, I'm going to take some blue painter's tape here, and just to get a very straight line, I'm going to do the sides here as well, since I am doing the borders of this canvas. And so now I'm going to mix up the same color, only this time I'm going to use more yellow and white to this, and this makes it an even warmer, lighter color. And so on the bottom here, I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest in with this. Okay, after another dry on this, taking the tape off, and this is a pretty straight line. I'm going to go ahead and put this dark value in between just to sort of make a separation, and you don't have to do this part. Again, you can skip this. I just like to do this for the background. So that was a number 2 flat brush and burnt umber, and now I've laid out the image with just some chalk here. Very simple. And so now I'm going to take my 3/8 angle brush here. As you can see, it's just the tip at the end. All those other bristles are out of my way, and I can use that tip to make these nice straight lines. And I'll get started with that with some phthalo blue now and raw umber on my palette. So I'm going to mix up this blue and this darker raw umber brown that I have here, and a little titanium white to this. So I can play these values using those two colors to make my own black, as well as sort of a tinted green or more of a bluish sort of Payne's gray color. And so just with the tip, as you can see, I'm just going to drag this down, and this will be the start of filling in this vase here, or the glass bottle, whichever you'd like to call it. And no cleaning yet, and again going back into that value, and as you can see it's a little bit darker now, and so now I'm going to run this darker value here and there. Okay, a little bit of a dark value scratched in there, and now more titanium white to that same value. And let's go on the right side now and drag that down on this side. Okay, and going back into more color with less white now. And on the bottom, let's fill in for that. And still no cleaning. Now let's just take this blue and this raw umber, no titanium white, and this is going to be our darkest value here. So it's almost like a black, but here's the thing about black by itself. It would have been sort of out of place with this piece because of the different blue values, and giving it that glass effect with those colors would not have blended as well with just pure black. So I wanted to make my own black using the same colors that are involved with the glass, and those just go better together like that. So whenever you see a dark painting, it's always best to look at, is that actually pure black, or does that look like that's maybe an off black a little bit, because that will actually matter to what you're putting it with. So I wanted to use this to make this black for that reason. So with that, I'm just going to drag that here and there, and a little bit on the sides of the bottles, and over on the left like so, and also on some of the rim up top. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to drag some of that color down here as well. Okay, and now picking up that color again and a little white into that, so it's kind of in between this dark and this very light color. And so with that, this is a new value now within the same colors. And let's put that right here. So it's kind of like we have two trios of color here. We have the burnt umber, the yellow and the white for background stuff, and then we have the blue and the raw umber and the white for this value within the glass. So I'll stick some of that dark color here as well. And what's really cool about this is that you can take the background color anytime you want, and you really can use that to knock back anything you don't like in the glass that you want covered back up, and vice versa. So now getting some yellow involved with that black and that blue, I'm sorry, not black, raw umber and blue, and that makes sort of kind of like a green tint to this. So now with this value, let's go in here and there, and that will really bring this glass color alive even more. Okay, no cleaning yet, and just a little bit more titanium white. Let's go with a little bit lighter value. And again, just streaking that here and there. And with that color on my brush, I want to start making some places where direct highlight is going to be hitting the glass, and I'm going to make these little swirly shapes. Now here's what's really cool is you can make these shapes however and wherever you want. There is no right or wrong. This is just straight up random light play that is going to be zinging off and through the glass. So see, it's a little bit heavier here, and I put more pressure on my brush as well as more paint, and you can see the difference up close. All the different values that are starting to take place, the different effects of lighter and heavier pressure used for the paint that I put down. And this is what's going to really bring out this 3D effect and show all these things happening and making it look very real. Okay, so more blue and more raw umber and more white. There's those trio of colors again. And again, let's go in and down here, let's apply some of that. Okay, without cleaning now, more titanium white and now more burnt umber into that. And just very, very little paint on my brush. I mean, just a smidge. We're doing a very light coat. And of course, the harder I push with my brush, the more paint I'll lay down. And of course, if I barely drag it over, it will put down even less paint. So you want to really put down heavier pressure in some places, and you want to put down very light pressure in others, and have these varied differences going on where, as you can see, it's lighter in some places and heavier in others. And again, this shows very realistic light play as it would on a glass, because light doesn't always hit everything all at once to your eye in the same way. Some light fades off, other light's hitting it stronger. And again, this is one of the easiest paintings you'll probably ever do, because it really is a free, really open type of painting. You can put these however, like I said, and wherever, just as long as you have differences going on, like I said, and this will really bring out everything in its realistic form. So now just getting pure titanium white with my number 2 flat brush, and this is really going to make this guy pop so well. Just going to put direct highlight where it's zinging off the strongest. So again, here and there, but not everywhere, as the motto goes. If you've seen my other videos, it's like music. You don't want the same note being carried throughout the whole entire concert, or that'd be the worst show in the world. So it's got to be differences. You can't have any one value or effect trying to take over and be the leader of the band, because if everybody does, it's like really awful. So just gonna scratch some light value down below there. And now I apologize for the top, it got a little cut off here, but it's just a little simple oval on the very top to show the round features of this cork that I'm applying for. And with this, I'm just going to block in with just straight up raw umber. That's our darker brown there. And we'll put some values on top of that. Okay, after the cork fill in there, let's let that dry, and let's take our trio of the Phthalo Blue, raw umber, and mostly white, as you can see to that. And just going to hit the top of the glass here with that. Okay, without cleaning, let's pick up just a little bit more color and less white. And with this muted value now, let's fill in some more stuff here. Okay, so here's what's cool. Taking that background color, I thought there was a little too much white in here, and check that out. Just like that, it's like an eraser. And then I can start fresh with fresh opportunities. And I'll go in there just with some more white into that, just here and there. Give it some more glass effect. Okay, now some more blue and raw umber. Again, our darkest value, no titanium white. And let's hit the glass here and there with this dark value. Now as I put that in, check out how dramatic and effective this is against all those other highlights there. It's just gonna really make this pop and complement with that dark and light playing together. Okay, so I'm taking my script liner brush and I'm taking this pure titanium white and just trying out a different brush here. I wanted to see how that went, and so with lots of water on this brush, you always want a lot of water on a script liner brush, as I've said in other videos, or it won't go very well. So now just going back to my number 2 flat with more titanium white, and just here and there just going to hit some more of these direct highlights. Okay, so as the paint runs off the brush here and there, I just want to make some more of these swirly doos here. And it just adds more dramatic effect and shows more changes and brings out more realism and depth and all that. So just grabbing our dark color now, that's that phthalo blue and brown, and just gonna hit it a few places here and there. And I'll rub some of that color up right off here on the left of the cork here, and just shows a little bit more of some dimension in that with that shadow play. So now getting more yellow, white, and burnt umber in that white. And so right here, I just want to tap it in here and there. I don't want to cover all that dark value up. So this is going to be some texture on top of this, and this will bring out some realistic looking cork. Okay, so getting the burnt and raw umber together and titanium white to that, I just want it to be sort of this light brown color. So let's make our shadow now on the table from the glass that's casting here. And so I won't cover up the entire shadow because there is some light playing within that shadow, and it's showing some of the swirl effects of the bottom part of the glass. Okay, and just picking up raw umber with no white in it, and I want this to be the darkest part of the shadow that's just right under the object, where of course the closer you go to an object the darker the shadow will be, and then it'll just fade out into that lighter stuff as it gets away from the object. As you can see, I'm dragging it out and just using very light pressure on my brush as I bring it out to that lighter stuff. Okay, with a clean number 2 flat now, I just want to enhance and redefine some of these direct white highlights and just make this pop just a little bit more. So now grabbing a little bit of that background color there and some more white onto that, and I just kind of wanted to cover over that dark spot there and just show some more realism there. Okay, so with some dark value now, that's our blue and our raw umber. That makes our black. I want to go in there and just here and there tap in some shadow details, and that creates more depth and dimension in the cork. Okay, so now taking my script liner brush, lots of water and permanent black, I'm going to sign this piece right here. And I want to thank everyone so much for joining me on this, and give this one a shot. I'm telling you, this is one of the easiest paintings you'll probably ever do. The techniques, the colors are few, and the way this comes together will be so effective. I'm telling you, you can knock back anything you don't like with background color and vice versa, and do anything you want to do with this thing, and it will just come out, trust me on that. So give this one a like and share with anybody you think would be interested in this, and drop some comments and questions down below if you have them. And until next time, happy painting, everyone.